Look at this picture. Here we can see that this lady is enjoying a beautiful view of the nature. What can she see? She can see the distant hills, the beaches and the trees on the beaches, a vast sea, and she is also enjoying the cool breeze that is blowing around her, which we cannot see here. Now, all these things are part of different spheres of the earth. For instance, the distant hills and the beaches are part of lithosphere. This vast sea is the part of hydrosphere. The air around her, which we cannot see here, is the part of atmosphere. Finally, this girl in the picture, the vegetation cover and similar forms of life belong to biosphere. So biosphere includes different forms of life found in different spheres of the earth. Now all these spheres or subsystems of the earth, as we can see here, are interconnected, and these systems make life possible on earth. These different systems of the earth are known as domains or realms. We shall discuss about each of these domains in details. We shall first start with lithosphere. Well, if we take a drone and fly over the earth, then we shall see that our earth is full of natural wonders. Now, speaking about landforms, we can see mountains, hills, plateaus, plains, and even beaches. One can also find vast oceans, seas, and rippling rivers, etc. on the earth's surface. So in our previous video, we saw different natural wonders of the earth like hills, mountains, valleys, and even vast oceans and seas. Now, these landforms and water bodies are intended on the earth's surface. And this solid hard outer covering of the earth is known as lithosphere or crust. Well, apart from lithosphere or crust, there are two more parts of the earth, and they are present in the earth's interior. They are namely mantle and core. So unlike crust, mantle and core are present in the earth's interior. So by lithosphere or crust, we only mean the hard outer covering of the earth's surface. Now, the word lithosphere can be broken into two parts, litho and sphere, where litho means land. So, lithosphere simply refers to the land covering of the earth. Now, as mentioned previously, lithosphere comprises of large land masses called continents and vast water bodies called oceans. Now, the part of the earth's surface lying below the oceans are known as ocean basins. Now, these ocean basins and continents comprises of the whole of lithosphere. Now, as we can see here, this lithosphere or the earth's surface is not even or uniform throughout. Rather, it is undulating. This is to say that some parts of the earth's surface, especially the hills and mountains, are too tall. Now, some landforms also exist deep below the oceans, and they are known as trenches. So we learned that the elevation of land masses varies throughout the earth, and this altitude or elevation is measured with respect to the sea level or the mean sea level. This mean sea level is usually considered as 0 meter, and the elevation of other land masses are measured in comparison to this average sea level or the mean sea level. So as mentioned previously, the earth's surface is uneven or non-uniform. So can you tell me what is the highest point and the deepest point of the earth's surface? Well, Mount Everest is the highest point of the Earth's surface, whereas Mariana Trench is the deepest point of the Earth's surface. The Mount Everest lies at an altitude of 8,848 meters above the sea level, whereas Mariana Trench, which is the deepest point on the Earth's surface, lies at a depth of 11,022 meters below the mean sea level. So, by comparing these two figures, you can understand how deep Mariana Trench is. So, here we find that the Earth's surface is not uniform or even throughout. The highest point of the Earth's surface is Mount Everest and the deepest point is Mariana Trench. Now, before moving on, let us see if we can answer this question. What is the depth of Mariana Trench? Is it 8,848 meter above sea level? Is it 8,848 meter below sea level? Is it 11,022 meter above sea level or 11,022 meter below sea level? What do you think? Well, the correct answer is the depth of Mariana Trench is 11,022 meter below sea level. We know Mariana Trench lies deep below the oceans. So, this option, that is 11,022 meter above sea level, is incorrect. Also, the first option, that is 8,848 meter above sea level, is the altitude of Mount Everest. So, this option is also incorrect. Also, the second option, that is 8,848 meter below sea level, this option is also incorrect. So, the correct option is 11,022 meter below sea level is the depth of Mariana Trench. So, as mentioned earlier, the large land masses that are present on the Earth's surface are known as continents. We shall now discuss about the major continents of the world. Well, there are 7 major continents in the world, Asia being the largest, then we have Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and finally Antarctica. So, there are 7 major continents in the world. Now, among these, can you point out the largest one? Well, Asia is the largest continent. It comprises of the maximum part of the land surface of the Earth. Now, as we can see in this map, major latitudes like Arctic Ocean, Tropic of Cancer and Equator passes through the continent of Asia. Also, if we draw here the prime meridian, which divides the world into eastern and western hemisphere, then we can find that the continent of Asia lies in the northeastern part of the world. That is, it lies to the north of the equator, that is in the northern hemisphere, and to the east of prime meridian, that is in the eastern hemisphere. So, we can also say that the continent of Asia lies in the northeastern part of the world. Now, as we can see here, Asia is bounded by 3 major water bodies, that is Arctic Ocean in the north, Pacific Ocean in the east and Indian Ocean in the south. Now, the world's highest mountain range, that is the Himalayas, is present in the continent of Asia. Also, the highest point of the Earth's surface, that is the Mount Everest, about which we have just studied about, also lies in the Himalayas, and that is in the continent of Asia. Well, just beside the continent of Asia, we have Europe. Europe and Asia are together known as Eurasia. Now, this Europe, as we can see here, lies to the west of Asia, and it is separated naturally by the Ural Mountains. So Ural Mountains acts as the natural separation between these two continents. Now the size of Europe is much smaller compared to the size of Asia. See here, Asia is so large, whereas Europe is so small in comparison to Asia. We can also see here that Arctic Circle passes through the northern part of Europe and Prime Meridian passes through the western part of Europe. Also, Europe is surrounded by water bodies on all three sides, that is Arctic Ocean in the north, Atlantic Ocean in the west and Mediterranean Sea in the south. Now, next in line is the continent of Africa. Africa is the second largest continent in the world, just after Asia. The most important latitude, that is the equator, passes almost through the middle of this continent, and apart from this, two other important latitudes, that is the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, also passes through the continent of Africa. This continent, as we can see here, is mostly surrounded by water bodies, that is Mediterranean Sea in the north, Atlantic Ocean in the west and Indian Ocean to the east. This continent consists of the largest hot desert in the world, that is the Sahara Desert, and even the longest river in the world, that is River Nile, also lies in the continent of Africa. Next, we have the continent of North America. North America is the third largest continent in the world. Here we have the map of North America. We can see that two important latitudes, that is Arctic Circle and Tropic of Cancer, passes through this continent. Now these two continents lie to the north of the equator. So from this we can infer that North America lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. The major countries of North America are Canada, USA, Mexico. Well, Greenland, which is the largest island in the world, also belongs to North America. Now Greenland, although also, is actually covered with permanent ice and snow. To the southern part of North America, a small group of islands exist and they are known as West Indies. North America is also surrounded by water bodies. To the north lies Arctic Ocean, to the west lies Pacific Ocean, to the east lies Atlantic Ocean. So this is all about the continent of North America. Now, if we proceed southwards beyond North America, then we will land in the continent of South America. Now, as we can see here, both these continents are connected by a small strip of land which is known as the Isthmus of Panama. Now, let us explore the continent of South America. So here we have the map of South America. We can see here that equator passes through the northernmost part of the continent. So from here we can infer that South America mostly lie in the southern hemisphere. Now South America is the fourth largest continent in the world. Apart from equator, Tropic of Cancer also passes through this continent and it passes exactly through the middle of South America. This continent, as we can see here, is bounded by Pacific Ocean in the west and Atlantic Ocean in the east. Some of the major countries of this continent are Brazil and Argentina. The world's longest mountain range, that is Mount Andes, runs almost to the western margin of this continent. In fact, the world's largest river, that is Amazon River, originates in the Andes Mountains and drains into the Atlantic Ocean. At the both sides of this river, we have the world's largest rainforest, which is the Amazon rainforest. So the continent of South America has the world's largest mountain range, the largest river, and the largest equatorial rainforest of the world. Now, let us explore about other continents of the world. Next in line, we have the continent of Australia. Australia is the smallest continent of the world. Apart from being a continent, Australia is also a country of the world. In fact, Australia is the only country that comprises of the entire continent. So Australia is the smallest continent of the world and the sixth largest country in the world. Now Australia, as we can see here, is surrounded by water bodies on all the sides. To the east we have Indian Ocean, to the west we have Pacific Ocean, and it is surrounded by water bodies on all the sides. So Australia is an island continent or an island country. Now Australia, along with other islands like Tasmania, New Zealand and New Guinea, together known as Oceania. So Oceania consists majorly of Australia and other islands like Tasmania, New Zealand and New Guinea. Also, the Great Barrier Reef, which is the largest coral reef in the world, is also situated in the continent of Australia. And finally, we have the continent of Antarctica. Well, this is the view of the world from the top of South Pole. Well, South Pole, as we can see here, is located exactly at the center of Antarctica. Now, Antarctica, as we can see here, exists beyond the Antarctic Circle. So, we can also say that Antarctica exists in the southern polar region of the world, and it is surrounded by the Southern Ocean. Now, owing to its location, Antarctica mostly remains covered with permanent ice and snow. In fact, it is the coldest and driest place in the world, and therefore this continent is least populated. No permanent citizens live here. Many countries have research stations in this continent. The research stations of India that are present in this continent are Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Now let me tell you that Antarctica is the fifth largest continent in the world. In fact, it is double the size of Australia, which is the smallest continent in the world. So you can very well imagine how large this continent is. So here we have the world map that shows the major continents of the world. Let us identify each of the continents. Well, this is the continent of Asia. And just beside Asia, which continent exists? Yes, it is Europe. Here we have the continent of Africa. Now, can you identify these two continents? Well, these are the continents of North and South America. To the north, we have North America. And to the south, we have South America. And the smallest continent of the world is Australia. This is Australia. Now, at the southernmost tip of the world, we have the continent of Antarctica. So, this is the continent of Antarctica. So, these are the 7 major continents of the world which belong to lithosphere. So, in today's lesson, we discussed in details about lithosphere, which is the land cover of the earth. And we learned that lithosphere comprises of ocean basins and major continents of the world. As discussed just now, there are 7 major continents in the world, namely Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, Antarctica and Australia. So this is all about today's discussion on lithosphere. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.